Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Alicia and I am with the Chardon Sign Shack. I am the ambassador for the Stencilsmith and I am doing a live today with angel wings and a beautiful saying. As you hop on, please say hello. Tell me you're there. Let me know where you're coming from. Anything about you you want me to know. If you have any questions and I don't see it to answer it, or April doesn't answer it during the live, let me know. If I don't see it, sometimes Facebook's kind of weird and it messes the algorithms up. Hi Becca, how are you? Hi Mary Jo. But anyhow, sometimes Facebook does really weird things and you don't see all the comments that come in, and then you see a bunch later. So if there's ever anything that I don't answer that you want to know, please let me know. You can always message me. Hello Beth, how are you? In Michigan, yeah. We've been having some nice weather, right Beth? I'm assuming yours has been similar. Hi April. April's here from the Stencilsmith. If you want to say hello to April. She is the owner of the Stencilsmith. Hello Joan. Hi Mary Jo. I'm going to try a secondary device again. So let's see. I'm going to swipe these comments off and see if it comes up on my other device before I start. If not, I'll just go back. It's just hard to see comments on the phone while I'm doing, but I've been having a lot of trouble with my secondary device. So I'm just going to give it a minute here and see if the comments pop up. And they are not. I don't know what is going on. I've refreshed it. It has to be some kind of setting. I don't know. So we're just gonna go with it like we've been doing. I'm gonna put them back here on my phone, and that way I'll be able to talk to you as much as I can. You had sun today. Very nice. Hi, Kathy from Ohio. Hello, Judy. How are you? Thank you for sprinkling. Yes, as you're hopping on, if you haven't done it yet, if you wouldn't mind doing this. Oh my gosh, I hope did the letters switch on me? Oh, see, Facebook is being crazy. Let me see if I can switch it. Okay. Hopefully, yeah, that switched the lettering the right way. Sun would be nice. Yeah, you're in Wisconsin, and boy, you have some, so is the lettering, it's correct for you now, correct? Okay, good. I don't know why that switched. It did that a couple lives ago, and it just flipped on me, and I couldn't get it to switch, but that time I could, so that's a good thing. So today, we are going to be doing these beautiful angel wings. April just released these, the Stencilsmith. I have two sets. She has 4 of them in this particular release. And she has other April wings, but in these ones, these are stencil number 8260, and these are the 10-inch ones. And I'm going to be embossing these. I love these. Hello, Vicky from Pennsylvania, Dutch country. Hello, Mary. How are you? I'm glad the lettering is correct. Hi, Dominica. Okay, so I'm going to be embossing this. I don't know if you've ever embossed. Embossing is a really fun thing to do. And this is the other stencil I'm going to be using to go along with it. Oh, okay. I was seeing something else there. So this is number 7341. It's the 11.25 inches one. And I will, after the live, I did list the links, but I'll also list, like if you go back and you look at my live, the description above, I'll list the sizes that I have. You can order any size you want, and if you're confused about a sizing, you can always ask April. She knows what would go together. She's very helpful, and they have many different sizes, which is a really, really neat thing. So today I have cut this board. If I'm a tape measure, I don't even know. So it's a 1x12. I'm going to angle you down. Hi Mitzi, how are you? And I'm going to try and answer comments as they come, just because I can't believe that's not working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so this is a 1x12 that I have cut 22.5 inches long, okay? And so 1x12, it's roughly like 11.25 inches. It's not quite a 12 inch. I don't know why they say that. Hi, Cindy, how are you? Hi, Linda. Hi, Tammy. Let's see, Christy, Mitzi. Somebody said something, but it went by. But anyhow, so I painted this ahead of time, and I painted it, I used Fusion Mineral paint. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got to flip. I've got him ready to go. I want to do my winter gnome on the back of him, but I just haven't had time to get to it yet. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Renee. Hi, Tracy. So, you love the board? Yeah, it's a beautiful color. It looks a little greener in the bottle, but it's kind of like a blue. It's a really pretty blue, but it's called Blue Pine, and it's from Fusion Mineral. And I've got this side prepped to go, but I just wanted to show you because I decided at the last minute, I thought since we're doing angel wings, I was going to use this Fusion Mineral. This is metallic vintage gold. They have several golds, and their golds are beautiful. Hi, Lori. How are you? And so what I was going to do is I have this old chip brush here, and I was going to just dry brush it just lightly. And to dry brush, like with a chip brush, you just get a little paint in your brush. That's actually a lot of paint. But what you want to do is you want to offload it, just like you would your stencil brushes. You don't want a whole lot of paint. And I'm just going to lightly go from one end to the other, just real lightly. And you can go back and you can add more if you don't like that, but it's just giving it just a little bit of shimmer, just a wee little bit of shimmer. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more. And you can also, like, I like to frame my pieces when I'm done, but this one, like, I just liked going around and taking beforehand this chip brush and just lightly bringing it on the edges with the gold. I know it's hard for you to see probably because of the camera, I don't know, because it's further away, but I'm going to show you. So I've just lightly dry brushed that. And you can add as little as you want or as much as you want. So I'm going to flip it over and do the other side, because this side I didn't realize when I was messing around with it earlier has a big knot in the back. So I don't want to do this on a knot, but this is the one I did before. So you can see it just adds just the least little bit of shimmer to it. And I think it's going to be really, really pretty with the angel wings. Can you see that? And you wouldn't have to add that, but I like the shimmer. Now the embossing paste we're going to use is a really cool one. It's from Fusion Mineral as well. You can use spackling for this. You could use, I know Dixie Belle has Dixie Belle Mud. I like this smooth embossing paste in Pearl. It's always so hard to get. Okay. There, it's always got to go the opposite. It's so weird. Okay, so it's a really, really pretty paste, as you can see. It's got a lot of shimmer in it. So you could use just this paste alone when you're embossing, or you could take your paste out. You could mix a little color in it if you wanted. I'm going to use this just straight the way it is. But you know what? I want to do something else first. Okay, I have to do this first. I'm getting ahead of myself. But this is the embossing paste we're going to be using. The reason I want to do this first is because where I have the wings, and then I want to move this up a little bit, this stencil, this is the one I'm going to be putting on the bottom. I want it up just a little bit. They're both about equal, how they came down. But I'm going to stencil this first just because this stencil would be going in my wings. And my wings have to dry for at least 12 hours. You have some of it, Becca. It's just beautiful stuff. So it has to dry for 12 hours. So if I put this stencil and place it where I want to. So that's something you want to think about, you know, where you're going to place it. So if you're going to place the stencil, or you could go back later, but this is a live, so I have to do it all now. So I'm going to do this bottom first, and I'm going to place it about right, let's see, I want to make sure it's in the camera. I'm going to place it about right there, I think. So I'm going to be stenciling this. The first one I did, because I made 2 of these, because I'm going to bring one up that's already embossed and dried, because it does have to dry for 12 hours before you can do anything with it. And I'm going to dry brush my wings. So I'm going to tape this on. And the first time I did it, I stenciled it in white. Well, this embossing paste, even though it looks white, it has a pearl to it. It's a little off-white. So I went back and I covered it up with some raw silk, which is like an off-white. So you could use any kind of off-white. I mean, if you're using the Fusion Mineral, but when I did the wings and then I stenciled this, it didn't look right because the words were a lot brighter than the wings. So I went back and I did this Fusion Mineral raw silk, which is an off-white, I think. Apple Barrel, or somebody has one that's called Parchment. It's similar to that. It's a real pretty soft off-white. But I got to get my dried paint off of that. And I'm just going to squirt some out here on my plate. And I'll just leave it there. And I'm going to get one of my brushes here. I got these off of Amazon. This is probably my 5/8 one. Yeah, my 5/8 one. That's the one I like to use a lot. And if you're new to stenciling, you want to load your brush with paint, but then you want to offload. You want an almost dry brush. If you don't have a dry brush, you could run into problems. And I am going to tape up here. I know somebody asked, I think it was the last live, if you wanted, if you should use adhesive, is what it was. I've never used adhesive. I think some people do. I do not. I just use tape and it holds everything in place nicely. So you want to get your paint and you want to offload it. I use shop towels. You get a lot of use out of the shop towels. Oh, you're at work, yeah. I unfortunately can't watch videos at work. I wish I could. But I work at an apple orchard, so I go up at I usually take the winters off and I don't go back to the fall. But as everywhere they're having such a shortage, they asked me to stay this winter. So I'm going to be staying. It is a little chilly. They only have a wood stove in the very back, not where I run the register in the front. And let me tell you, that is cold. That cold snap we had, thank goodness they sent me home. It was around Christmas. I think it was the Friday before Christmas. I went into work and we had a really bad snowstorm. The roads were horrible. I mean, it's right down the road from me, so it wasn't too hard getting to work. And I'm offloading, and I'm a swirler. Some people are pouncers. Some people might swipe. I'm a swirler. And I'm just swirling it in there, and you kind of want to hold it, you know, maybe between your fingers and, you know, to keep it taut, I guess you could say. But with the tape, it stays pretty good. But it was only 40 degrees in work. We have an inside thermometer. And I thought I was going to turn into a popsicle. That's when we had like that -5 and all that stuff. It was not pleasant, but they sent me home after about 2 hours because nobody was coming in. You missed the part where you said, oh, okay. I see, Cindy. Yes, I did freeze, Michelle. It was really, really cold. But you know what? I've learned what layers work. I have these things I got them at Walmart. They're called Cuddle Duds. So they're long johns, but they're real soft. And I have a top and a bottom, and then I wear a t-shirt, and then I wear a sweatshirt, and then I wear my winter coat, and then I wear gloves, and I wear a hat, and I wear the long john pants, and I also wear winter pants, like a fleece pair of outdoor, I don't know if they're Nike or Reebok or something that I've had for a long time, but it works. Sometimes the only thing that gets cold is my nose. But I tell you what, when you stand on concrete like that, sometimes for 8-9 hours, you get really cold. It just goes right through you. But the thing is with the apples, you got to keep them cold or they'll go bad really quickly. So, and again, I'm just swirling around here, getting these words on. I'm doing this first because of placement of the wings. And I don't want this part to mess up my wings when we emboss it. Has anybody embossed before? I know Becca said she had this Fusion Mineral Pearl embossing paste. And like I said, you could use spackling. I know Dixie Belle, if you use Dixie Belle, they have Dixie Belle mud you could use. They have a lot of different things out there that you could use, but you could just get spackling. You love the wings. Yeah, the wings are beautiful. Oh, you got Cuddle Duds, Rhonda, aren't they the bomb? Like, I just put them on and walk around in my house in them sometimes. I like them so much. They look like black leggings anyhow. They're wonderful. So I'm just going to give this a nice little dry here. And I'm going to show you, because the other one that I did and I let dry, I did not do the gold over the blue. I didn't dry brush any gold on it. And I'm using some browns in this too. So you could even dry brush a little brown in it if that's what you want. But I thought I'd try something different since I'm making 2 of these. Rhonda's got her Cuddle Dud shirt on right now. You use spackling. Yeah, I've seen your projects are beautiful, Cindy. Yeah, I think I used spackling maybe once, and then I ended up getting this embossing paste. I'm pretty sure Renee was using it, and it was just so pretty. I love the pearl in it. And then Fusion Mineral has a bunch of waxes that you wax your boards with. And they have a pearl wax too, and it is so pretty. It's just clear and it's pearl, and it just gives a little bit of shimmer after everything's dry. You know, when you're doing angel wings and stuff like that, sometimes you can't have too much shimmer. Now, I have seen a lot of stuff lately on Etsy with the angel wings where they have had two boards that's cut the same size, and they've had angel wings like one on one board and one on the other. And I'm sure they're bigger, which April does have bigger size. So say like the one wing was the whole size of this. But they are selling for $199 on Etsy. I was really floored. And they were embossed. They were embossed and dry brushed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the paste is beautiful. Like, you could leave it on its own. You can dry brush it. I'm going to dry brush the ones that have dried in here. I did a set last night, or no, yesterday afternoon I did a set. And I let it dry all night. They say to let it dry 12 hours. I think Dixie Mud might be 24 hours. You know, different things are going to be different drying times. Just go according to the directions. But I love embossing paste. Yes, Becca, it is crazy. I was like, wow. I would never dream of charging that much for a set of angel wings. But there are a lot of them out there, and a lot of people ordered from this one lady. And they were just the angel wings, one wing on one board and one wing on the other, so they could hang side by side. And it was really pretty. Some of them were distressed, you know, like sanding the wood and distressed and stuff. Some of them, you know, just depending on what kind of color. She had a lot of different options, but I thought that was kind of cool. And it looks like she's getting that price too, because she has sold a lot of them. She's got a lot of reviews on there. on Etsy. But I get a lot of my ideas. I go on Etsy, or I go on Pinterest, or if I'm in a store, I just look around. Or does anybody, like, you don't look at things, you look at things differently after you've stenciled and you're making signs? Oh, you can dry spackling faster with your hair dryer. Okay. I hadn't tried that. I had plenty of time to wait in between, so I just let it dry, air dry. And this is my second coat of this raw silk. And I'm again today, every video, I know some of you have said, I think so, do any of you ever close your bridges? Because I have started doing that, and I did it when I first started stenciling, and then I stopped. But I've practiced a little, I'm getting better at it, and it really makes your, especially the script when you can close them, it really makes it flow, and it doesn't make it look so stenciled. So I'm going to take a peek here, and I think that's going to, ooh, I had a bleed there. Okay, well, let me dry it. I must have had too much paint on my brush. Let me get a wipe. So if you take a wipe, I'm gonna just take that off. And I use a toothpick, but like I got a bleed right there, and you can just kind of go like that. And it erases it. You can usually fix something like that. I had obviously too much paint on my brush. That's what happens when you have too much paint on your brush. I didn't offload enough. I was busy talking and not paying attention. So I got a little bit there, and just right here on the D. But yeah, if you take a toothpick and you just wrap a wipe around it, that's something else in there. Okay, there we go. And you just take that toothpick, and you can usually just wipe it away. If I wipe too much on it, it's gonna, or if you have like long nails, I don't have long nails. If you had long nails, it'd probably work a lot better. So I had 2 bleeds, they cleaned up that easy. And what I was saying before is I have been closing my bridges. So I'm gonna show you real quickly right here. I'm gonna give it a quick dry. I guess I shouldn't go real quickly because that's how I end up making mistakes. Okay, so we're just giving it a dry there. Ooh, I did bleed down there a little bit too. Well, I must have really had a lot of paint on my brush. I'll clean the rest of that up later. But did you see how easy that cleaned up? That is what happens, like I said, when you get too much paint on your brush. Where is my liner brush? Okay, so I got this brush. This is an Arteza. It is called a rigger. I don't know what a rigger is, but it's it's a really, really fine brush there. And I have been using that, and usually before, better make sure it's dry. Find my little piece of, okay, so if you ever sand anything, you want to knock maybe the bridges down a little bit. This is craft paper. So if you take craft paper, I've used this many times, and you just crumple it up, you know, several times. It's like the finest sandpaper you'll ever find. And you can give it a little sand, And it kind of, because what happens when you're doing those bridges is it's a little raised. So you can do just a little bit of sanding there and it knocks it down just a little bit. But this is the nicest sandpaper. And it's just, and I use it over and over until it's no good. But I'm just going to show you how to do the bridges in here where the little gaps are. And for whatever reason, I do this better upside down. Put my brush, put your brush in water, girls. Don't do like me. But what I do is I get a little bit on my brush and then I take it off. And then I just fill in the gap there. But this is a really, I mean, any fine detail, but I have a couple fine detail brushes. I have another Arteza brush that I think is called like a liner brush. But this one, for whatever reason, is the bomb. I just love it. But I put the paint on and then I take it off because you don't want a big glob going there. And usually when I'm filling in the bridges, and again, I said I'm just going to do this loved here, this script letter, which is so pretty. Usually when I'm filling them in, I do take that paint off, put it on the brush, take it off, and then I usually do 2 coats. I find 2 coats has good coverage, and it really doesn't take too extra long. For whatever reason, I find it weirdly, especially when I'm doing circle, like to do it upside down. So I'm moving around. I'm not moving my board around. But for me, I don't know, working upside down is easier when I'm doing these, the script and stuff, doing the circles. Might not be for you, it is for me. But I'm just gonna, let's see, where was I at? Right here. Fill those bridges in. It doesn't take too long. If you mess up, you've got a wet wipe. Just wipe it off. And usually, if I don't have to hurry, I will let this dry for a while and I'll come back and I'll sand it just a little bit with my paper. I'm afraid to sand it too much now because I did just freshly paint it. And even though I dried it with the dryer, I don't know that it's, you know, completely thoroughly dry. I don't want to make another mess. So I'm just filling those bridges in. And when I get those filled in, I'm going to show you how to do the embossing. And then I'll bring my finished wings up here because they're dry and we'll dry brush them. I think that's going to be really pretty. And I want to show you, if you stick around at the end of the video, I've ordered a lot of different memorial sayings from the Stencilsmith, and I wanted to show you some of the other ones they had. You know, I don't know if I mentioned either. I think I might have at the beginning, but I don't even know because I was trying to get my secondary device to work. And if you, this stencil and the angel wings are going to be on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off. And then if you use my code, which is SignShack, SIGNSHACK, you will save an additional 15%, which is a wonderful deal. And the nice thing about Stencilsmith is everything comes in different sizes. If you see a size you don't like, talk to April. She'll be happy to make it. So that didn't take that long. That was 1 coat. And I'm not going to do both coats. I'll show you how pretty it looks when I bring it up in the other one. And we're going to emboss now. We're going to have fun with the embossing. So I'm just going to set that aside and put my brush in the water. And I am going to emboss this. So I want this about right here-ish, I think. And like I said, the reason I did the words first was because if I emboss this, my stencil would have went over my wings for placement. So you got to think about that too. Or if you have time to wait in between, it's really not a big deal. You're excited for the embossing. The embossing is pretty fun. And it's so easy. So now you can use a lot of different things. Let's see. I am using an old credit card. Well, I thought I had, you know, one of those squeegees? I had one. I don't know where it's at. But anyhow, you can use squeegees for this. These work really good. These old credit cards, everybody's got them. Or your old art card, anything like that. You have hazy, yes, the hazy white. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Oh, thank you. So this is the embossing paste. And again, this is Fusion Mineral Smooth Embossing Paste Pearl. Really, really pretty. Beautiful color. It's got a lot of shimmer to it. It's really, really pretty. I'm going to give it a little stir here. And I've had this well over a year, and it's still as good as the day I got it. So, love your art. Yes, Renee uses her art card. That's what made me think of it. This embossing paste is beautiful. But like I said, you can use spackling. I know I've seen Renee use the Dixie Belle Bud. Oh, if anybody saw my credit card number, this is not a legit. This has been, I probably should have blackened that out, but that is not the new number, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to get a little bit of paste on this card just like that. And I'm just going to start going over it just like that. It's that easy. So you're just taking your card, and you're always going to have lines in these. You're not, at the end you can try and smooth it out a little bit, but you're always going to have a little bit of lines in it. It's not going to be perfect per se. That's just the way embossing paste or spackling works. It's unlike paint. You will leave a couple little lines. So I'm just going over this and bringing it down through the wings. Just like that. And I'm not pressing down really hard. I'm just kind of gliding over it. Just like that, kind of in the direction of the wings. Just getting it in that stencil there. And I'm going to actually do 2 layers with this embossing paint. And I'm just kind of smoothing it out real lightly. And I'm going to go over and do this set of wings over here. Might have way too much there. And when you're done with this, when I take the wings off, I try to get as much paste as I can, and I put it back in the jar. So like I said, I did this, my one I was working with, so I would have dried ones for the live. I stenciled this in white, and it didn't look is good. And I actually think the one I'm going to show you I like better without the gold shimmer beneath it, but I wanted to try it and show you that you could do that. So it's just up to you. You could have dry brushed in the brown. I'm going to use a little bit of brown on the wings too. Yeah, I think Facebook Lives don't like me because for whatever reason, I have not been able to get my, I even have a new device now, my secondary device to work. So it's got to be something in settings or something because, oops, I have a brand new device. So I'm going to get that up. Get a little wipe here. I went way too far. I probably could have put, now I'm getting 20 wipes out. Getting to the bottom of them, you know, where you have a whole bunch of, just wiping that up. Okay. You know, when you get to the bottom of your wipes and there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of the water. So I'm just going to put that there in case. I just had so much on it. So you're just doing that real lightly over it. And I'm going to go back because I want to make it, the more you add, the more raised it's going to be. So it's up to you how far you could do this and call it a day. I'm going to do one more coat on these wings here. Make it a little thicker. The thicker you make it, the more raised it's going to be on your board. And I'm just adding more in there, going over what I already have. And I will tell you something too about these wings. When you're cleaning them, although the stencils are very sturdy, this is the 10 mil hazy white. That's what I order. I like it. Some people might like the blue. There's a 7 mil blue. But just be careful. There's so many little bridges. Be careful if you're scrubbing it that you don't pull any of those wings up or anything like that, because you wouldn't want to do that to your pretty little angel wings. So has anybody taken those pictures? You know, you go somewhere and they have the angel on the brick buildings. I think those are so pretty. My sister and I went to West Virginia for a funeral this year, and we were driving through the town where my parents grew up and where I was born, and there were angel wings. We were so excited on the side of a building, and we went over and we had our, you know, you do the thing with your arms, you spread them out, and it was really cool. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that, but I've wanted to do it. I've just never ran into a set of angel wings. And again, like I said, this is not going to be perfect. You're going to have lines in it. There's just no way around that. So I don't want you to think when you're doing it, if you have some lines, that you're doing something wrong. You are doing everything correct. Oh, you haven't done, Becca? It's fun. You got to do it and take pictures. Yeah, I think, yeah, I know some people are having trouble with just like I had it correct when I started. You know, so the lettering would be correct, and then I went back to do it. So anyhow, an old credit card works really good for this. It really, really does. So when you're lifting this embossing, the stencil off your embossing paint, you want to kind of lift it straight up, because you don't want to smudge your embossing paste, because it's, or your spackling or whatever you're using, because it's wet. So you just want to kind of lift it straight up just like that. How pretty is that? Is that not beautiful? So if you look at it, now this is wet. Let me set my stencil down here for a minute. But it's, look how pretty that is, and how it just shimmers, and the dimension on it. But I love, love, love this Fusion Mineral embossing paste pearl, or pearl embossing paste. I don't know the exact order, but it is so pretty. And so this is wet. So we could let it dry. You could leave it just like this, because it's beautiful. See how shimmery? It's just beautiful shimmery. Like I might use this, leave this one just white, but I have a one here that I'm going to set this one aside, and it's dried, and we're going to dry brush it. So I'll show you how to do that. But this is the one that has dried. So see how pretty that is? And then this is with all the bridges connected. And I really do, I like this better, just the blue. I like it better without the gold in the background, like the dry brush gold. But we are going to be doing some dry brushing. But first I got to get my paste off my angel stencil. So let me, okay, I want to put as much of it as I can back. I'm going to move this over for a minute. Let me move this over for just a minute. So again, you're going to want to let that dry at least 12 hours, or somebody said you could dry it quicker with a hair dryer, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to open this embossing paste up. No, this is from the Stencilsmith, Susan. I am an ambassador for the Stencilsmith. And there are links. There should be a link popping up. So if you go over your stencil, you can get a lot of, you know, you want to save, especially this Fusion Mineral stuff if you're using that. Get as much as you can back in the can. And I didn't think this through because I am going to need to clean this a little bit because I'm going to put it over there to dry brush it. But yeah, if you do that, you can get a lot of the paste off and then save it. See, I got that much. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. That's awesome. I didn't even realize because I'm not looking up that much. Yes, I'm using the Kohl's card. Yes. Yeah. And like I said, the numbers are not good. If anybody saw the numbers, they don't work. That's an old, I don't know. I don't shop at Kohl's that often. I don't know why. I find, I don't know. I know a lot of people like Kohl's. I never shop there that much. But I did because they had a lot of stuff that my grandsons are now getting into. You know, my one grandson, he's 13, so he's getting in the brand names. But I'm getting this embossing paste off because I want to, see, it's even pretty on, I don't know if you can see, on my napkin, the embossing paste, it right there on the napkin. So let me just try, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to get another paper towel. Give me just a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to, like, run in the house and clean this off. I just got to get it clean enough to put over, because I'm going to have to put this over to do my dry brushing. And it'll keep everything right there. And I just don't want to get it all over my board. Let's see. I probably should. I don't want to get any excess on my board because I'm really happy with that board. I really like how it turned out and everything. Let me get one more wipe. I'm sorry, guys. I appreciate you hanging with me while I'm cleaning my stencil off. I usually take it in and put it in my sink, but I don't want to run in there and leave you guys hanging. This isn't taking that long. But yeah, try and get as much as that embossing paste or spackling or, you know, whatever you can off of there. So I've got my kind of clean, I think. And you can always tell, I mean, I'm going to know when I put it over it, but when you have the Stencilsmith stencils, if you've gotten any down here, it's raised and printed. Like this is number 8620, 10-inch, and it's the A wings because they have 4 different sets of wings. So I am going to get my board back up here. I'm going to wipe my hands off just a little bit or I'm going to have pearl everywhere. And like I said, Fusion Mineral has I'm not an ambassador or I don't have an affiliate link or anything for Fusion Mineral. I just really, really like it. I like it an awful lot. So I am gonna get my sign back up here. This is my dried one. Yes, this is my dried one. So this is the dried one. So before I clean my stencil, was trying to clean it, I wanted to show you, see, I connected all the bridges down here this morning. This stencil, the angel wings are a 10-inch. I believe this one is the 11.25 inches. And there are many different stencil sayings that you can buy for this. And I'm gonna show you some of the stuff I have when I'm done here, the just beautiful things they have. And like I said, April is really good to work with if you have any questions about anything, if you're unsure like sizes or anything like that. So I am going to lay this down. And again, there's the dimension, if you can see, of the wings, which I think are just absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna lay that down and I am gonna put my wings my stencil right back over my wings because I want to dry brush this one just a little bit. So I'm going to get tape if I can find, oh, there's my tape right in front of my nose. So I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't shift on me. That's always important when you're stenciling. And it doesn't take a whole lot of tape. I probably didn't even need that much. And I had some little brushes I was using earlier. I'm going to be using chocolate, Fusion Mineral chocolate. Oh, hi Janice. Well, better late than never. And you can always go back and watch the replay. And I'm going to be using this. Oh, see, I am a messy crafter. It doesn't matter where you take me. Okay, so anyhow, I must have had that on the side. This is Fusion Mineral Metallic Vintage Gold. It's a beautiful gold, but I'm going to do the chocolate brown first. And I'm actually just going to take a little out of the bottom rather than squirt it. And I'm going to get my brush here. And I just have this little stencil brush here. I don't even know where I got this one. It's not the greatest, but it's pretty good for dry brushing. I'm going to get a little bit of the brown paint, the chocolate paint from Fusion. And I am going to offload it. I'm going to flip that. And again, you just want to get almost a dry brush. You have paint on the brush, but then it's dry. We're the same when crafting. Who doesn't want to exactly paint with a paint? April says, who doesn't want to paint with a paint named chocolate? So like I said, you could leave these wings just as is, which they're beautiful and they're pearly. But you could also take your brush and just add a little bit, just like that. You could just like you're stenciling, add a little bit of color, and it adds a little bit of dimension. I'm going to get just a little bit more chocolate. And brown or chocolate goes with everything. And it just kind of distresses them a little, makes them look a little aged. And then I'm going to add a little bit of gold. So I'm just adding a little bit of this brown here, and I'm kind of trying to go in the direction of the wings rather than swirl this one. You know, kind of like if you saw it, it was like feathers. You know, they're separating. So I've got the brown there, and I've distressed it and aged it just a little bit, the chocolate. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the gold, which I think the gold is just beautiful. What did I do? Okay. I put my chocolate somewhere where I wouldn't hit it because I took the lid off of it. And I have taken the lid off of these FIFO bottles before, and then I turn them over. And that is just no fun. I ended up with a big, huge mess. So I am going to get this other little brush I was fooling with earlier, and I'm going to get some of this metallic vintage gold. Fusion has a lot of really pretty golds. They have a champagne gold, I think, and I want to say they have like 3, but see how pretty that is? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm glad you found a distributor, Maggie. Oh, you can't move the comments, Donna? I'm sorry. Facebook, I think, is being weird. It switched me when I went live, my mirror image. I think it's being a stinker today. So I got my gold paint up on my brush, and I've dry brushed. Or I'm not dry brushed it. I've offloaded it onto my shop towel. And I'm just going to kind of go around the edges with some gold. Adding some gold in there. I'm adding more on the edges. And then I'm going to just add a little bit in the middle. And the thing about this is if you don't like it, you could go back with white paint, I would imagine, and go right over it. But I think it's going to be pretty. And I'm just going on the edges, kind of making that kind of darker with the gold. Ooh, that's a lot of gold. Make sure I'm dry brushing that off. Making it darker on the edges. And then kind of bringing it down through it. I think I'm going to add a little bit more over here. And I'm just kind of bringing it down through the wings, like in the direction that the wings are going, with it being a little darker on the edges. So I think this is going to be pretty. Okay, and I am going to lift this up and see what it looks like. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so now I've added some gold and some browns. I've aged it. The stencils, this is a 10-inch. This is an 11.25, 11 and a quarter inch stencil. There are links, like if you go back after the video at the very top, there's links you can click on that'll take you directly to that stencil. But what do you think? Do you like those wings? Did you like them better white, or do you like the little touches of gold? But that is how simple embossing is. Like I said, you just have to let it dry 12 hours, at least this pace. Just follow your paint's directions would be my suggestion. Let me get my lid back on my paint so I don't spill it. I want to show you a couple other things that I have from them. And again, these stencils are going to be, they are going to be on sale. Yeah, I thought the golden brown would look kind of pretty. I think brown goes with everything and it makes things look aged, then a little bit of shimmer with the gold. And then, you know, closing your rings, or not your wings, closing your bridges, which you don't have to do, but see how much more finished that makes it look when you close your bridges. And then I just love, love, love those wings. I think they're so pretty. I hope you enjoyed it. Where would I put that? This would be a beautiful gift to give to somebody who's just recently lost somebody. I make wooden garden flags, and they're not quite this long. They're about 16 inches. I have a stencil that I made a couple weeks ago. If you girls remember the I Am Always With You round with the cardinal. I made that on a garden flag, and I put 2 garden stakes in it. I'll post a picture maybe tomorrow or Thursday, and I put it right next to her grave. And instead of hanging it like a flag, I just put it in the ground because I don't know, you know, you could be away in the wings. And you could always edge the sides a little bit with the gold if you wanted. A little bit with the white that I used down here. But let me grab my stencils over here and I'll show you. Like, these are just some ideas that you could do with the angel wings. But yes, you could give them as gifts. How nice would something like that be? Sending it to, or, you know, giving it to someone rather than flowers, you know, at a funeral or something like that, or just in memory of somebody. Anything like that. I mean, I have a friend who recently just lost her mother that I'm making. I'm still not sure. I'm making either this or I'm going to make one of my cardinal signs again that say, I am always with you. You prefer the dimensional chocolate. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. So I'm going to show you just a couple. And again, these are on sale. I hate to keep repeating myself. I don't know who's popped on and who's popped off. Both of these stencils today and tomorrow are 20% off. If you have any questions, you can message me, you can message April, and they're another 15% off with my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, and then anything else that you buy will also be 15% off. So I'm going to set this aside for just a minute, and I want to show you some of the other ones that I got from them that are just beautiful. This one, how pretty is that? I wish heaven had visiting hours. That would be beautiful with the wings. Now this is the one from the round I did a couple weeks ago. I am always with you. You know, you wouldn't put the branch, but you could use this I am always with you with the wings. If you got smaller wings, or even the wings that I used, I made this a couple times for people who lost their pet. I've loved you for your whole life. I'll miss you for the rest of mine, with a little paw print. That would look really pretty with wings. This one too. I think this is really sweet. You were my favorite hello and my hardest goodbye. That would look beautiful with wings. And what I'm saying with the wings, you wouldn't even necessarily have to do that. If you didn't want to emboss, you could do the wings very lightly in the background. And then you would lay this over your wings and you would do this real dark. So that would be pretty. I guess I have a lot. I didn't realize. Because someone we love is in heaven, there's a little bit of heaven in our home. I think that's really pretty. And then this is another set of the wings that I got. And I love the halo on it. I think this is not on sale, but this is one of the other wings. This is the B one. I had it backwards, but I think that's beautiful. Those are the kinds like you see that you stand in front of. Yes, and you could do them with the paw or without the paw, so you don't necessarily have to use them for animals. But that's a beautiful, and I love, love, love the halo. The halo would be pretty, you know, even if you did the wings, you know, just regular, the halo would be pretty embossed in gold. And then I thought this would be really pretty. I think I might make something for my mom at Christmas, maybe with wings, I was thinking, but this is a Christmassy one. But I thought that would be really pretty with the wings too. Sleep in heavenly peace. And that's, I don't know what size that is. I gotta find my thing there. That's a medium, so I could get a smaller and it would work with the wings, larger wings and smaller. But that's another thing that's so great. But there's so many. Like there are thousands upon thousands of stencils, and there's I believe there's 4 different kinds of wings. You know, the 2 that I have, there's 2 more. I want to get them all, and they're beautiful. They're just really pretty. So this is what we did today. I really, really like it. I'm so happy with it. Yes, they are on sale. You are correct, Rhonda. This stencil and this stencil is on sale today and tomorrow, 20% off. Use my code SIGNSHACK and you'll get another 15% off. So 35% total. And this is the 10 inch. This is the 11.25 inch one. And they work really well together. And then, like I said, if you didn't want to do embossing, you could always just real lightly fade it in the background, do wings. Take this or any other saying and put it over it and do that dark. I've done that lots of times, like with backgrounds. I like using backgrounds. If you've watched me for a while, you'll know I'm crazy about a background. My voice is getting hoarse. So I appreciate everybody joining me. Again, I just appreciate, if you haven't done that, do this, please. You're all just really special to me. I really, really, really appreciate the fact that you take time out of your day to spend with me. Kelly, the words are the 11.25 inches in hazy white, and all the links will be in this video, like above. So you would just have to click on that link and it'll take you right there, but it's the hazy white 11.25. I'll list that in the description after the live. And I hope you emboss something soon and share it with me. I would love to see it. Message me with any questions. You can message April. If I don't see a question and you've asked it, you can always message me because Facebook is weird. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kathy. And sometimes you just like, you click newest or all and you still miss comments, especially when there's like 400 comments. So anything you specifically want to know, let me know. Laura, the size of the board, it's a 1x12 and it's cut, can't remember, 22¼ inches long. So, and that fit my stencils really good with because I wanted a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, and I tried to space it accordingly so it would be the same. What happened to you Sunday, Cindy? What size do you get for an 8x10 frame? Well, are you, okay, so you're talking about putting wings in an 8x10 frame. Like the wings that I used, where did I even put them? Oh, here they are. So the image size, April might be able to answer that. So this is 10 inches wide, so you would want a size down from that, Maggie. Yes, Janice, you could put the word over the top. That's what I was saying. You could I wouldn't put it over something that was embossed just because it's raised. It would be really hard to stencil. Embossing is super easy, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so Maggie, April said the smallest stock size is 8 inches, but if you needed, she could make one just a little bit smaller. So this is the 10-inch one, so the wings are 10 inches, but let's see, what did you say? You needed something by 10. So an 8-inch might work for you if it was 8x8, I think, Maggie. But again, like I said, I appreciate everybody so much joining me. I certainly do. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't followed me, please follow me at Shard and Sign Shack. And if you haven't followed the Stencilsmith, please follow them at the Stencilsmith. The wing sizes are the image sizes, yeah. And if an 8x10, ooh, so she might, Maggie, the smallest one would be an 8x8. But April said if you let her know, she could probably make one just a little bit smaller because you would probably need something just a smidge smaller, maybe like a 7x7 to fit in there or something like that. Because 8 inches would be right at the border. So, you know, maybe you can message April about that at info, I think it's info at Stencilsmith, something like that. But you look on their website, it'll show. But oh, thank you, Becca. You are so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you next Tuesday with a new project. Yep, let April know, Maggie. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Bye, April. I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.